Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Yo, what's up? Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hope you all had a nice Tuesday night. As far as me personally, I won the college football bet. The Ball State Buffalo game went over in like the second quarter. I had over 53.5. I believe there were 98 points scored in the game. So I want to talk about sweat free. Holy shit. As far as the NBA though, I lost both the bets I placed, and I had said yesterday that both I got crushed by the injury report in both bets, lost like 2 or 3 points of value in both bets. Is what it is. I do have 3 NBA bets open tonight, but as a whole, I don't really like the action tonight on the NBA front or the college football front. So we'll talk about it. Maybe these guys could talk me into something. As of right now, I do have 3 bets open, and we'll talk about it. Modai, your Grady Dick experience was a pleasurable one.
Correct. The Dick Riders with me all cashed out last night. I only bet him to score 20 plus. He scored over 30, so we could have pumped that up even more. But yeah, it was a successful Dick ride last night. I can't wait to do it again whenever he plays next.
How do I even follow that up?
That's just crazy.
That is crazy.
That is crazy. The confidence he says it with too is crazy.
He wears it proudly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what's not to love?
What's not to love? All right. So anyway, you'll be happy to know that the Raptors don't play tonight, so we won't hear any of that.
Not. Nope.
First game on the board is Indiana-Orlando, and I almost jumped on Orlando plus 2.5 last night. Obviously, wish I did now. Are they laying one now? It really moved that much?
Last time I saw it was a pick'em, but it's been moving in that direction. I do see -1 at some books.
So yeah, it's pretty much a pick'em now. So I wish I grabbed Orlando at the plus 2.5. That'd be the way I'd lean. Don't really feel strongly about this game. But you guys know Orlando, you love playing them at home in Orlando. They protect the rim well, or at least they did last year. That's what Indiana wants to do. They'll slow the pace down, try to take Indiana out of their comfort zone, blah, blah, blah. You know, Orlando at this price, I mean, this is a spot you like to play them. But I didn't bet it, so I'm not going to waste your time rambling about it.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, obviously the Pacers are more rested, the more rested team. They're missing Nembhard and Nesmith. Those two are going to be out. But I think in that position specifically, they're pretty deep, the Pacers are. And then while the Magic, I feel like I mentioned this before, right? They've dominated like the lower tier teams, but they struggle against the mid-level to upper tier teams with Banchero out, right? I think the first 3 games we talked about yesterday, first 3 games were OKC, Dallas, and Golden State. I forgot. I think that was the 3. But yeah, I think this team here, the Pacers, even with missing players, they're a little bit better than the previous 3 teams that they faced. The other thing to mention too, this is an offense versus defensive type matchup, and I think with the fatigue spot on the Magic side, I think the advantage has to go towards the Pacers. So in my opinion, I think the side is going in the wrong direction. 0-2 straight up and against the spread when they're less rested than their opponents, and 0-2 straight up and against the spread on the second leg of back-to-back games. So this season so far, I know it's early in the season, but Orlando has shown that they struggle in this spot. So I would lean towards the Pacers side.
And last year, the Pacers were 9-6 against the number with the rest advantage. So that would lean towards Indiana. I believe Orlando was about 500 or just over 500 with 0 days rest. So really nothing there. But the Pacers did take advantage of it last year for the most part when they had the rest advantage. So that supports Indiana. Modai?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of it's a first quarter market, a little bit of a random one. It's Gogo Batadze over 3.5 first quarter points, plus 104 at FanDuel. If you play it, hit it for a half unit. Don't go crazy on this one. It's just a matchup play against the Pacers, who allow the 4th most points in the paint in the entire NBA. It's the same thing last year. They just cannot guard the restricted area. They allow the 3rd most field goal attempts in the restricted area. That's 84% of Gogo's shot attempts literally 84% come in the restricted area. And with all the injuries, he's playing like 6 to 8 to 10 minutes in the first quarter, and he's taking between like 3 and 4 shots, which like 3 and 4 shots doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're consistently shooting that close to the rim, your field goal percentage is going to be much higher. And like for this one, he just needs to get 4 points, so makes 2 baskets to cash it out. It's a matchup play. For big men like him, they like to get them the ball early because they want to keep. It's like a Kendrick Perkins thing. They asked him, like, Doc Rivers, why did you always give the ball to Kendrick Perkins on the first play of the game? It's like, because I just wanted to get him. It's like a big man thing. You want to keep them engaged on the defensive end. So like, it's the thing with big men. They higher usage rate in the first quarter over the rest of the game. But yeah, if you're gonna play it half unit, like, don't go crazy with this one because it's a little bit random. But I do think it's a good look.
Over 3.5 first quarter points. All right, Modai. Next game. Cleveland, Philadelphia. In case you haven't looked at the injury report, there's you hate to see it happen to a fine city like Philadelphia, but there's no Tyrese Maxey, there's no Paul George, there's no Joel Embiid, and I actually heard this on, I think it was Guy Boston's show. He was talking about it that he uploaded this morning, where before the season started, Embiid had said, I'm not going to play another back-to-back for the rest of my career. And then apparently after the game last night, he goes, I want to play tomorrow, which is just a really organized organization there in Philadelphia.
Organization. Yep.
Organized organization that has their shit together. No panicking at all here in Philly. Obviously, it's only going to be Cleveland. I'm not betting this stupid. Like, I have no interest.
Yeah, it's Cavs or nothing, but yeah, definitely not putting my money on this one. Yeah,
we could just skip on over to the next one. Pelicans, Oklahoma City, another one where it's like, on one hand, how could you place your hard-earned money on the Pelicans in their current state? I mean, this is a mess. I'll pull up the injury report, but I'm sure you guys already know the current situation. It looks like Brandon Boston is going to be seeing a lot of minutes for the Pelicans here. Same with Noel. McCollum's out. Murray's out. Zion Williamson's out. Herb Jones out. Alvarado out. Hawkins out. So this Pelicans team, the rotation we're going to see tonight, I don't know how you put any money on that. That being said, it's tough to back Oklahoma City when who's the starting five right now, Ronald?
They're going small.
So when I looked at the projected lineups for both of these teams, everyone on the Pelican side is 6'6" and up, and everyone on the Thunder side is 6'5" or shorter.
That's
like
crazy.
There's a huge size advantage on the Pelican side. So I mean, like, I think OKC, they're gonna rely on what they do offensively, right? The 3-point shot, the Shea kind of going off on his own, getting to the free throw line. But if Pelicans are gonna get a whole bunch of second chance opportunities, score really easily within the paint, I mean, 14.5 doesn't seem that bad. In my opinion, right? You look at all these teams that covered yesterday. The reason why these huge underdogs covered yesterday: second chance points, offensive rebounds, forcing turnovers. This is a game that OKC could just kind of overlook, right? Who do they have next? I think they have a key game on deck too. I think they have the Suns on Friday. Why do they care about this game? I don't think they would. So, I mean, in my opinion, this is a situation that's Thunder and nothing. 14.5, they could stay within 10, 12.
So Pelicans are nothing, you mean?
Pelicans are nothing.
That's crazy. I mean,
It's one of those games, the ugly games, those are the ones that hit. I mean, that's just how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree with you that the only way to go would be Pelicans. I just don't know if I physically can do it and still lay my head on the pillow at night and be okay with myself as a person. But I mean, for all of you guys in the comments, I don't even know if the comments are saying this, but I'm saying if there were comments saying, how could you bet the Pelicans? I mean, the Hawks just beat the Celtics last night. 16-point dogs with missing Trae Young and everybody. So it's the NBA. Overlooking games is a thing. This is not especially in the beginning of the season, a lot of people treat the NBA like it's the NFL. Every game is not the Super Bowl. That's not how the NBA is. The best team in the league is going to lose 20, 25 times. That's how it goes. So, I mean, teams do come out and give lackluster efforts at times. Sometimes they punt at halftime. They got the game won. So, it would only be Pelicans for me, too. I'm not going to do it, though. I can't do it. Modai?
Yeah, I didn't bet this either, but Trey Murphy, 15-plus points. When I sent it over, it was at minus 115. You can actually get it at minus 105 now. That's at Hard Rock. You can also get Hard Rock and BetMGM. How you beat the Thunder on a normal defense is with the spot up shooter, like corner threes, all that stuff. The reason why I wanted to take the points with Murphy is because with everybody injured, like you have to imagine they're not going to let him beat him from the corner three. So maybe he'll have to drive, like kick and drive, stuff like that. So 15 plus points. Again, I'm not betting it. No way.
Someone goes, Pelicans plus 14.5 is still scary. Yeah, dead ass. I mean, it could be Pelicans plus 20.5, and I'd still be like, I'd still be hesitant. Let's go to the next game. What's up next? Oh, finally, I did bet. This is one of my 3 bets. I got the Bulls at plus 8.5 last night. Still feels high at 7, to be honest. I mean, I think we all can agree. I'm a Knicks fan, you guys know, but I think we all could agree that the Knicks are not some unstoppable force right now. They're a 500 basketball team. I think we could agree that later in the season, maybe post All-Star break, the Knicks probably will be one of the stronger teams in the Eastern Conference, but that's certainly not how they're playing right now. This Bulls team has looked pretty strong. I believe it's 2 games in a row where they've posted a positive offensive rating and a positive defensive rating. They're coming in rested. Knicks just played a game in Philadelphia last night against a rival. Just shouldn't be 8. I mean, it's 7 now, but just flat out, it shouldn't be this many points. Anything above 6, I would go Bulls here. They should, at the very least, be able to play the Knicks down to the wire, stay in this game. So, yeah, Knicks, Bulls plus 8.5, and probably at plus, obviously at plus 7, I like it slightly less, but I still like it. If I had to pick out of my 3 bets, this would probably be my favorite, I think, is Bulls plus the points.
Yeah, this one's really funky from a schedule perspective because you mentioned the Bulls with the rest advantage, Knicks second leg of back-to-back, I think 3rd and 4th, 4th and 6th, but also this is their 8th straight game of travel, and the Bulls, they've traveled for every single game so far this season. So I think there's like a whole bunch of like travel fatigue and all that stuff that I could see in this one, kind of looking towards the under. But I think one way to pivot, because I don't have anything on the side in this one, but the way that I would pivot is Kobe White threes, because the Bulls, I think he's shot 9 or more attempts in 9 of the 11 games he had. He's made 4 in 7 of the 11 games he had. He just went 5 for 11 against the Cavs. And I think the Knicks 3-point defense and the Cavs 3-point defense are very similar as far as like struggling against the above the break 3. And that's where Kobe White gets majority of his attempts. So from a prop perspective, Kobe White 4+ threes was plus money this morning. So I would probably look in that direction.
And someone asked about Jalen Brunson. That's another thing. Brunson's questionable, but it's not just Brunson questionable. Deuce McBride and Cam Payne also questionable. That's all of the Knicks guard play. So depending on which of those pieces are active and which are not, Knicks could be really thin in the backcourt in this one as well. They're not flush with guards, this Knicks team. So, I mean, if 2 of those 3 guys are out, who's going to get the high usage rate for this Knicks team? I mean, is Bridges going to handle the ball for a lot of this game? They could be pretty thin at the point guard position depending on which of those pieces end up playing. Modi?
Yeah, speaking of Brunson, you could wait till he plays, but I like his assists in this one. You can get over 7.5 at plus 125 on FanDuel. You have to go to 8+. That's at plus 125. If you go over, it's really dumb, but if you go over 7.5, it's plus 124. So you can get like 1 cent difference. It's a matchup play against the Bulls. The Bulls allow the most assists to point guards in the entire, second most assists to point guards in the entire NBA. And if you just go down their game log and look at the assist numbers that point guards have put up against them, it's crazy. I mean, Trae Young put up 16. His over-under was 11.5. Mike Conley put up 11. His over-under was 4.5. And Brunson had a slow start from an assist perspective, but he's been better recently. Like he's gotten to at least 8 and 5 of the last 8 games, and he's gotten 12 or more potential assists in all those games except for 1. You look at last year, he cashed it in 3 or 4 games against the Bulls. The 1 game he missed, he had exactly 7 assists. And like Garland missed this last game against the Bulls. But if you just go down props.cash and look at like players in this or point guards in this matchup, it's green all down the board. So like it's because they give up a ton of points to the roll man, which like if Mitchell Robinson was playing, it would be a much bigger thing because they like the cat likes to pop. They don't run a ton of pick and roll anymore. They don't have a big man that rolls. But it's still a good number. Like they give up the spot up shooters, catch and shoot stuff as well. I didn't make it an official bet because second half of back-to-back and he rolled his ankle last night, and I would rather not mess with that if he plays, I don't know, like 20 minutes or anything like that. But if you just isolate the play in the matchup, I think it's solid.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Someone said that campaign has been ruled out in the comments. I'm still seeing questionable, but maybe.
Questionable.
Yeah, I'm still seeing questionable. Boston, Brooklyn. Interesting one here. So on one hand, you have, how do we not bet the Nets? They're 9-2 against the spread, the most profitable team in the NBA so far this year. Boston's coming off a back-to-back. How do you not bet the Nets? And then on the other hand, you have, how do you not take the Celtics to bounce back after an embarrassing loss last night to the Hawks? Not to mention against a Nets team, a division rival who played them down to the wire last time. The game went to overtime, so it's not exactly a Nets team that, in my opinion, Boston would take lightly. They know Brooklyn's capable of playing them tough. So it would only be Nets for me here. It's a big number at home with a team that's 9-2 against the spread. Are they still, Ronald, are they still unbeaten against the number in the first half? They were 9-0. They were 9-0.
Let me pull that up. You talking about the Nets?
The Nets, first half against the number.
Nets, first half. I think they're still 9-0. Hold on.
Well, they played more games. They had to be more than that.
Sorry, not 9-0. The Nets are 10-1.
10-1 against the spread of the first half.
The one that they didn't cover in the first half, they were the road favorite on that one. But they ended up covering that full game.
Yeah, they ended up winning. That was the Pelicans game, right?
Yeah.
So it would only be Nets. This is the most profitable team in basketball so far this year, catching a big number against a team that's on a back-to-back with a travel, and a team they just took to overtime. Wasn't the game in overtime? That was in Boston. Yeah, that was in Boston. So this team took the Celtics to overtime in Boston. Not to mention, I mean, we know the Celtics are probably the best team in the NBA, or at least going to be this year. It's not how they're playing right now. What's the Celtics' recent? Let me pull it up right here. Boston. So the Celtics are 1-3 against the spread in their last 4, 3-6 in their last 9. I mean, the Celtics aren't really covering the number like that. So yeah, it would only be Nets for me. I'm kind of talking myself into Nets bet. As of right now, I don't have a bet on it.
Yeah, this one is tough. I mean, I think neither team in a great spot right now. A major fatigue spot on the Celtics side, but the Nets, they're in a fade spot too. The first game home off a long road trip. I mean, that's typically a fade spot for me. Al Horford, he's missing. He doesn't play back-to-backs. Nets are missing guys as well. I think DFS and Simmons are both questionable, but it seems like they might not play if I'm not mistaken. But it's just really hard to go against the Celtics off like an embarrassing loss like they did last night, especially at home. I had the Celtics team total. I had 2 bets yesterday. I went 0-2 yesterday. Celtics team total over 119 was the play, and I feel like I should have hit that one. Brown missed 3 free throws at the end, and then that could have led to the fouling situation and all that shit. So I think that costed them the game as far as like the win side too. I think they bounced back today. Their team total is only 113.5. I looked back since last season, how the Celtics do on the second of back-to-backs with Horford sidelined, 8-2 to their team total over, averaging 125 per game. So this one seems like they should get up and over their 113.5 team total tonight.
Going right back to the well here, Boston team total over. And yeah, I put on the end of that game. You definitely should have got that team total over. Weird series of events there to stay under. Would they end up with 116 or 117?
116, yeah. So he missed 3 free throws in the last 30 seconds or some shit like that.
Yeah, I had completely forgot you were on that bet. But right when you said that, I had watched the end of the game like, oh shit, yeah, they should have went over.
Yeah.
Modi?
Finally a play that I actually bet. Cam Thomas, 25 plus points. I got it at plus 120. You can get that still at bet 365. It's like how you score points against the Celtics is guys that run pick and roll and guys that pull up. The Celtics allow the 5th most pull-up field goal attempts in the NBA, and a lot of that obviously comes out of the pick and roll, 6th most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers on the 5th most attempts. Cam Thomas scores the most points as the pick and roll ball handler on the Nets, runs the most pick and roll possessions as well as the main ball handler. And not only does he score the most points on the Nets via pull-up, but 12th most in the entire NBA. I also like this as a little bit of like a fade of what we've seen recently. He scored 25 or more in 4 of the first 6 games. He's only done it in 1 of 5 games since, so it's like a little bit of a buy low opportunity. And the one game he went over was in this exact matchup against the Celtics. He put up 31 points on 22 shots. It's not a playoff matchup, so I don't think it's going to be one of those things where like they're going to make crazy adjustments. So I'm fine going right back to that.
Cam Thomas, 25 plus points. Next game, please. Wizards are up next, right? Yeah, Wizards Rockets. Wait, 214.
Wait, it's Wizards Spurs.
I'm sorry.
It's Clippers Rockets.
Which one is up on the screen right now?
Clippers Rockets.
Oh, Clippers
Yes,
Rockets is up. My bad. I had it backwards on my notes. So we're on Clippers Rockets now.
The next one is Wizards Spurs.
So I have a bet on this game, and it's very. So wait, Clippers Rockets we're on right now.
For the love of God, Clippers Rockets.
Okay. For those of you that don't know, we on the show see a very small screen of what you guys see. So I can't.
I had to squint too.
Yeah, and the Wizards have similar colors to the new Clippers color. Chill, man. All right. Clippers Rockets. I have a bet. Clippers team total over, and it's very simply, I'm just riding the hot. This Clippers team just can't seem to miss from outside. I'll pull it up right now. In their last 5 games, ready? Clippers are shooting 51%, 43%, 47%, 39%, 54% from 3. 5 games in a row where their outside shots are falling. Low number of 105. They've also gone over this. What is it? If someone has their schedule, but I believe 5 of the last 6. It's a low number. I know that the Rockets have been playing some decent defense. I also know the Rockets have been playing a little bit slower pace, which tends to point towards an under. A total at 214. You would expect a lower scoring game, but this Clippers team just keeps hitting their threes. And you could put there should be a graphic in there for Clippers team total over.
I was distracted by all the action. Yes, okay.
All the action. Yeah. I was distracted by all the action. So that there should be a graphic for Clippers team total over in there somewhere. Yeah. So at 105.5, they've gone over this, I think 5 of their last 6 games. And like I said, the threes are falling for the Clippers. So I'm in. Not to mention, is Van Vliet, did we get an update on him?
Last I saw he was questionable.
Yeah, that's right. So if Van Vliet doesn't play, he's one of their better perimeter defenders. Not that I'm good with this, whether Van Vliet plays or not. But yeah, Clippers threes continue to fall. Low number like 105.5 that they continue to exceed. I'm in. This is my bet for this one.
Yeah, I was leaning towards the over in general, not specifically the Clippers team total over, but I know they gave up 134 to the Thunder. The Rockets, they've actually been struggling offensively. I think the last 3 games, 107 twice and then 101. But on the season, like both of these teams have been strong under teams, mainly because pace of play, strong defense, right? Middle of the pack offensively. But you mentioned Clippers kind of picking it up on the offensive side of the ball as far as like 3-point shooting. The total where it's at right now, I think it's at 213.5. I see right now. They could sneak over this one. I mean, the Clippers, like you mentioned, shooting a high percentage from 3. Rockets tend to struggle to defend in the perimeter. So that is one thing that they could take advantage of. And then on the other side, Rockets mid-range game could be a problem for the Clippers. Also, points off turnovers is huge. The Rockets are 6th in the league in average points per game off turnovers. And then the Clippers, they turn the ball over at the 2nd highest rate. So even though the Rockets offensive efficiency is a little bit less than I would like for an overtime game, they're going to get extra opportunities to score. And then from a trend perspective, from team total perspective, the Clippers 3-1 to the over as road dogs. The Rockets 4-2 to the over at home. So maybe these are the situations that you take the over in for both of these teams.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. And I know when you look at it, it's like both these teams have been playing way better defense than they have offense. We've also seen some slower paced games, although the Rockets, 3 of their last 4 games had a pace of 1 or 2 or higher. So it seems like the Rockets may be looking to speed the pace up a bit. And if you remember down the stretch last year when the Rockets got hot and they made that run at a spot in the play-in tournament, they were playing at a really fast pace. So I was actually a little surprised that the Rockets have come out playing the way they have. Because I was expecting them to replicate what they were doing that was working in the second half of last season. What do you think, Modai?
I think that's a Şengün thing, the pace, because he missed like the end.
That's
of
right.
last
Was
season.
he out for that whole run, or did they get
whole
hot?
run?
So when
the whole run he was
out,
out, he broke. Yeah. Anyways, I passed on this one. I don't really know what to do with either of these teams, so I didn't play anything.
Yeah, you're right. He did get hurt, and they might have got hot right after he got hurt. It's around the same time.
It was either at the beginning or right after. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Wizards, Spurs. I mean, I could tell you with certainty I'm not laying 10 points with San Antonio. I don't have a bet on this game. If any of you guys want to take the mic on this one.
No, I don't have a bet on this game. But like I said, like you, I wouldn't touch nearly double digits with the Spurs here. That's a no-no, big no-no.
Big no.
Big no-no.
So I guess me and Ronald would both be saying, I guess, a slight Wizards or pass lean. What about Matthew?
Yeah, Matthew, I do have a play. Victor Wembanyama, 25 plus points. I got it at plus 105. You can still get it at plus 100, which I would still take it there. It's just a great matchup against the Wizards. It's been a weird slow start for Wemby. He's only scored 25 points in 3 games so far. This is definitely not a hit rate type thing, but he scored exactly 24 points in 2 of his last 5 games. So would have just gotten the hook there, which would have been tough. And he scored 24 more points in 3 of his last 5. He only did that twice in the first 6 games. Obviously, these are all small sample sizes, but just kind of going off of what we've seen. And he put up 34 points last time out against the Kings. So hopefully he's kind of going on a run. But the reason why I like this play is because it's a good matchup against the Wizards. They have the 3rd worst defense according to defensive net rating in the NBA. They play at the 4th fastest pace. And there's a website, Props Madness, where will tell you a percentage of where a player's points come from and then line that up with the defense and how they perform against that. And Wemby's kind of interesting because he doesn't have a single play type that's 20% or more of his points. The highest one is in transition. That's 18%. But the reason why I'm saying that is if you just look at that site and you go down the ways in which Wemby scores, the Wizards are the worst to bottom 10 in every single category for Wemby. So whether it's he's posting up, whether it's transition, spot up, getting to the line, offensive rebounds, all that stuff is where Wemby scores, and all that stuff the Wizards are bad at. So there's no way to hide, in my opinion, just looking at that matchup. So Wemby 25 plus points. Yeah, that's where I went.
Wemby 25 plus next game. And I believe the next game is my last bet. I got the Bucks last night at 5.5. So it's at 6.5 now, and that actually does matter. 6 is a key number in the NBA, so that does matter. That being said, I would still bet the Bucks at 6.5. Definitely happy to have it at 5.5. 6 is the 2 possession mark in NBA. And a lot of times that's the barrier where teams will foul late in the game or not if they're up more than 6. Whatever, who cares? I like the Bucks here, and the reason for it. I know both these teams are coming off back-to-backs. In fact, both these teams this is going to be their 3rd game in 4 nights. Bucks didn't have to travel. Detroit did, and not only did Detroit have to travel, they're coming off a tough game, man, an overtime game against the Heat. And before that, the Pistons have played, I think it's 4 in a row, 4 consecutive games that came down to the wire. This Pistons team is down to the last second for 4 straight games. Let me pull it up, actually, rather than do it from memory. All right. 123, 121 in overtime against the Heat. 2 days before that, 101-99 against the Rockets. 2 days before that, 122, 121 against the Hawks. 2 days before that, 108, 107 against the Hornets. So in the last 7 days, the Pistons have played a 2-point game in overtime, a 2-point game, a 1-point game, a 1-point game. Good Lord. It's just a fade spot, man. Now they got to travel without a day off into Milwaukee. Also, there's pieces sitting for Detroit. Hardaway Jr. out. Ivy. Fontecchio's actually out. Sorry, Thompson's been out. So, yeah, there's some pieces missing. Although, when I bet it, I thought I had an outside shot of getting Lillard back on the court, but I think he's in concussion protocol. I don't think
you probably want to keep him off anyways. Defensively, they looked a lot better yesterday than me.
Yeah. We know Lillard isn't the most tenacious defender. But, yeah, I'm on the Bucks at 5.5. I'd still play it at 6.5.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of things that you mentioned, I have in my notes as well. But also that letdown spot, how they won yesterday was kind of crazy. Definitely emotional letdown spot, right? This is one of those things where it doesn't mean too much, but it's really cool to mention. Bucks dominate this Pistons matchup, 25-1 straight up over since 2018, 17-9 ATS. But I do also have a system that has been really solid since 2019. Divisional home favorites when both teams are on a back-to-back, 27-3 straight up, 24-6 ATS. It's covered 13 of the last 14 instances.
24-6?
24-6 ATS since 2019. That's 13 of its last 14 it's covered, 1-0 already this season. It's the Bucks today. Obviously you got a really good number. I think it's at 7 right now. But I think it's still the way to go. This seems like a situation where the Bucks can really I would really like Dame to not be in if possible, just because their defense really looks solid without him. And then another thing to mention, the Pistons struggle on the road offensively. They're actually 5-0 to their team total under when on the road. I think they average just under 104 points per game. And if the Bucks are gonna play solid defense, it seems like they're gonna struggle offensively. Maybe even if you don't like the Bucks at -7, maybe take the team total under on the Pistons side. So either way, I think those are two solid plays in this game.
Well, yeah, because when I was looking at it last night, I was wrestling between the Pistons team total under and the Bucks team total over, and I was like, "What the hell am I doing? I'll just lay it. Like, what am I trying to like? What am I doing?"
one plus one.
Yeah, right. Like, it's just I literally was like, "Which one should I take?" And then I was like, "The fuck? Like, what am I? I need some sleep." Modi, what do you think?
Yeah, so I had, and I didn't actually bet it. It was a lean, but Cade Cunningham 25 plus points. I sent that over before Jaden Ivey got ruled out. The odds got nuked after that, so that plus 125 is not available. It's like minus 110 for that same price, and I wouldn't even give that out as a lean, so I'm out.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. And I know what you guys are going to say, or at least I know what Ronald's going to say, because Modi's probably on a prop, not a side. You're going to say take Minnesota to bounce back, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, you go first then. I didn't bet the game.
This one or not?
No. I wanted to go Portland. I wanted to just say, I don't care about the bounce back. Minnesota sucks, and it shouldn't be 9.5. But I didn't do it, so I'm not going to say it because I didn't actually do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, there's no way they leave that stadium yesterday without feeling embarrassed or pissed off. I mean, obviously credit to the Blazers. They shot like 65% from three for 3/4 or like 4/5 of that game, right? They only got under 60% because they just started chucking it up at the end when they were winning by double digits. But I feel like there's going to be a huge letdown spot offensively for this team. Like most of these guys don't even shoot 65% in practice from three. So like I can't see that happening again. Obviously the offensive rebounds and turnovers, that's going to be a huge adjustment for the Minnesota side. That's something that obviously I'm worried about. But if they can make those types of adjustments, they should be able to win this one by double digits. They already did it earlier this season against this Blazers team. I'm not really sure what happened yesterday. I think we talked about it, or it might have been you or someone else. But a lot of the cup games yesterday were really interesting with their people not really caring about it, right? Like I don't think some teams were some players were injured that could have played but didn't. Like they don't really care about this cup game. For instance, the Wolves. I mean, they just didn't show up at all. But historically, it has been profitable to take the favorites in the spot when they face each other in back-to-back games, and the favorite lost the first game, right? And they're favored again. 14-1 straight up, 12-3 ATS over the last several years. It's just a pure bounce-back spot on the Wolves side. Obviously, if they don't cover this, they could be on the no-bet list for quite a while. But, I mean, there's no way that they don't come back pissed off in this one.
Okay, so I feel a lot what you're saying. The reason I'm leaning towards Portland is not obviously you're right. When a team loses, gets upset as a big favorite, and then play the same exact team the next day, you lay it again. That's no question. In years past, that's been a profitable decision. My fade of Minnesota, again, didn't bet it, would be more, I think, based on the way that they're playing so far, I think the entire market might be a little off about this team. They lost to Portland last night and then are laying 10 tonight, as if we're still valuing them as a top 3 team in the Western Conference, and I just don't think they're that right now. Kind of similar to how I feel about the Knicks. Like they're still getting evaluated and handicapped as if they were the team that made the playoff run and then got hurt and lost to the Pacers. Like they're not that team right now. Maybe later in the season they will be, and that's kind of how I feel with Minnesota. I just don't think they're this good right now. I don't know. And you can't say, oh, it's because they lost Cat, because Towns missed a lot of last year as well, and they were still playing well. I know a lot of people are saying
they could use this as a motivation factor, right? There's teams right now peaking at the wrong time. Like the Cavs being undefeated right now, they're peaking at the wrong time. They're going to end up not doing well in the playoffs. That's just my opinion. And we could build, the Wolves, from a player perspective, a roster perspective, they do have the talent to be one of the top teams in the West. They're just not putting it together right now, right? So this could be a motivation factor for them. It's super embarrassing to lose like that.
Yeah, I hear you in there. I didn't bet this one, though. Modi?
Yeah, same play I went last night. Anthony Edwards, first quarter points. Very frustrating loss because he scored 2 in the first quarter, so I'm not going to pretend that it was close. But he scored 12 points in the second quarter and played less than half the second quarter after playing the entire first quarter. So it is what it is. That's you live and die by the first quarter market. The line movement on this has been interesting. Like when I first sent this over, the plus 105 was available. I checked right before we started recording, and every book had it at 7.5 for pretty juice, like minus 130. I'm looking at it right now. Now most books have it at 8.5, and you're not even getting plus money. So at this point, you can get plus 130 for 10 plus, and I would just play that for a half unit, then doing the dance between like 7.5 and 8.5. It's just running it back all from last night. I mean, he plays the entire first quarter. He's now gone 1 of 5 and 2 of 9 in the last 2 first quarters he's played, but he's averaging over 4 3-point attempts, averaging about over 7 field goal attempts. You have to imagine they're going to come out, and especially him, going to come out with a little bit of a different energy than they did last night. Again, so 10 plus at plus 130 is how I play this right now.
All right, let's move on to the next game. A game that I have zero interest in, although it'd be a cool one to watch. This Suns Kings game, but obviously there's still no Durant. Nurkic has a question mark next to his name. So does Bradley Beal, but I don't know how much Bradley Beal being out moves the needle for me right now at this point in his career, at least the way he's playing right now. But we have no Durant. The looming possibility of not having Nurkic is also huge here. I don't know. I kind of wanted. The way I look at the Suns, and honestly, whenever I say something about the Suns, you should probably just do the opposite, because the way I look at the Suns has not been profitable. If you guys didn't watch last year, I had a very good NBA season last year. I lost a truckload of money on the Suns. I track my earnings for each team when I bet them, when I fade them, just to make sure I'm not holding any biases or maybe I'm not being objective when I look at certain teams. And the gap of teams I lost money on, the gap between the Suns and the second most was like significant. For whatever reason, I just could not get this Suns team right. And yes, I bet them 4 straight times in the Minnesota series when they got swept. Every game I bet them. So I rode them right down into the gutter. But anyway, the way I look at this Suns team is I like to back them when no one's expecting them. Like, this is like, oh, it's a bad spot for the Suns, right? Back-to-back, no Durant. Kings should dominate. This is, I think, when they'll win. But again, I've made money betting on the Suns, so maybe you shouldn't take my advice. It'd be Suns or pass for me here, not betting it.
Yeah, I know the Suns are looking for a quick revenge, right? But they're on the second back-to-backs. They're also, I mean, you mentioned no KD. I don't know what the official status for Beal and Nurk is, right? I think last time I saw it was questionable, but the Kings with the rest advantage, they're looking to bounce back after that loss to the Spurs as well. I know Monk not being there is going to be a blow to their second unit, but I mean, I think that's kind of canceled out, right, with what the Suns are dealing with as far as like their injury report as well. I think overall these teams match up pretty evenly, but with the fatigue spot, I think that kind of gives the advantage towards the Kings side. I think one of the things that I looked at, the Kings defensively, they actually play really well at home. They limited their 3 opponents as home favorites, 3-0 to their team total under. This is one of those situations where I would look towards the Kings at home in this spot. They just play better at home defensively, and you already have KD not in there for the Suns. That, you know, that's a whole missing piece there that does more than just score, right? Like, just being on the court, he's a decoy. He could do all these different things for this offense. So I would think that the Kings should be able to cover the number here.
Modi?
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan, 25 plus points. So I actually bet it at plus 105, but it's been basically plus 110 the entire rest of the day, and that's still available. I just checked. This is the perfect matchup for DeMar. Like, what does he do? Shoots in the mid-range, pulls up from 2-point range. Everybody knows that. The Suns with Coach Budenholzer, doesn't matter if Nurkic plays or not, they play the same deep drop coverage that he played when he coached the Bucks and when he coached the Hawks. They lead the league in pull-up mid-range attempts allowed and pull-up 2-point field goal attempts allowed. It's like literally like the player that takes the most of the shot versus the defense that allows the most of the shot. It's the match made in heaven just when you're looking at the matchup. These two teams just played. He put up over 30 points. And I also like it. It's the fact where, like, kind of like Cam Thomas, DeMar started fast, did this, I forget the exact numbers, but did a decent amount at the beginning of the year. Has been a little bit cold recently. Like, he's missed it in 2 of his last 3, which again, like, tiny sample size. But yes, we did it in 6 of 11. And now he's missed it in 2 of 3. So like a little bit of a buy low spot here. But it's just a matchup play. It's 100% a matchup play. And then another, I had a $5 bonus bet. So keep that in mind. De'Aaron Fox getting a triple double. You can bet like 10 plus rebounds, 10 plus assists. It's plus 13,400 odds. So let me be very clear on like, do not bet more than like a fraction of a unit. But rebound props are good against the Suns because they take so many jump shots. Last time these two teams played, he had 11 rebounds and he only had 8 assists, but he had 18 potential assists. So I had a $5 free bet. I threw it on a Fox triple double. You have to play it as 10 plus rebounds and 10 plus assists because they don't actually offer the triple double market. But for like a $5 bet, I thought it was a good dart throw. So yeah.
Does that say plus 13,000?
That's how much it is. I have it up on my FanDuel account. Plus 13,445 for 10 plus assists and 10 plus rebounds.
Plus 13,445. So basically
so
a lock. It's a lock.
It's my 5-unit whale of the night. That's correct.
All right. So Mona hits us with a plus 13,445 bet. Next on that note. If that hits. All right. Wow. Memphis on the road in LA to play the Lakers. Lakers at home. I think it's the graphic says 6. I think this is 7.5 now though. Yeah. 7.5, 7.5. Yeah, so it looks like it's mostly at 7.5 now. To be honest, this early in the season, I don't really like messing around with the games with the that have the laundry list injury reports. Maybe later in the year when there's no college football on and I have some more time to find some more action. But at this point in the season, when I'm still knees deep in college football, if I see a long injury report, I'm pretty much skipping right past it. I could tell you I would want to bet the Lakers here. I trust the Lakers a lot more at home in LA. I'm actually not even really scared to lay margin with the Lakers at home. But I'm good. Maybe if Ronald could talk me into something, but.
Well, I did bet this one. I got it at 6 though. I didn't even know that it moved. So that must have been within the past hour or so. But both teams are rested. Both teams off huge double-digit wins. I think Grizzlies have won by double digits in 3 straight games. So there's some recency bias on that side. Obviously, this is a double-digit revenge, in-season revenge for the Lakers too. I'm sure they want to get that leg back. They lost 131-114 earlier this month. So Lakers were on the last game of a 5-game road trip, and then I think you might have just mentioned the Lakers at home. They play a lot better at home. Their offensive rating is actually number 1 in the league when playing at home. You mentioned the injury report on the Grizzlies side, really struggling there as far as injuries. Again, I mean, this is like 3 seasons in a row for the Grizzlies now. No Bane, no Morant. That's huge, obviously, offensively for the Grizzlies. I looked at how the Grizzlies do without Bane and Morant. It's already 2 games so far this season, and they won and covered both. But if you look at who they faced, they faced the Wizards and the Blazers. And then there's one game where they were without Ja Morant. They ended up losing that one outright to I don't think it was a really good team, but I remember when I looked at it, it was the Lakers were definitely a tier above whoever they lost to. So in my opinion, you mentioned the Lakers side, 5-0 ATS at home. The Grizzlies, they've only been road dogs once. They failed to cover that one. A lot of things really pointing towards the Lakers side to show up today. I think the Lakers defensively, I think they're going to be a little bit better tonight as well with all the injuries. There's a case to be made that the Grizzlies stay under their team total as well.
Yeah, and it's not that we know that the Grizzlies team is super deep because we saw them with 8-9 guys on the injury report, still competitive at games, still covering the number. So it wouldn't be just a blind fade of the Grizzlies with the current injuries because we know some of their role players are more than capable. It looks like Brandon Clark might even be playing. He's listed as questionable, but yeah, it would only be Lakers for me here. Moda?
You have a Bronny ladder, right?
Moda's got a Bronny James ladder?
Yeah. No, I don't. Absolutely not. I have Austin Reeves 3+ made 3-pointers. So I locked it in at +110. When I sent over the number, it was at +100. Since then, it moved back to +110 at FanDuel, so you can get the +110 price. Normally, when I take 3-point and point props, I try to find like buy low opportunities. I'll admit that's not what I'm doing here. He's cashed this over in 3 of his last 4 games. What I'm really betting on is the attempts and a really good matchup against the Grizzlies. In the last 4 games, Reeves has taken 9-10, 9-10, literally 9-10, 9-10 in those 4 games. I didn't copy my notes, actually Control-C, Control-V. Those were shot attempts. And he only took 9 shot attempts once in the first 5 games, has now done it in 4 straight. And it's not like he shot a crazy outlier percentage. In those 4 games, 3 for 10, 2 for 9, 6 for 10. So there's the one outlier, and then 3 for 9. So 1 of 4 games where he shot like above 30%. And it's still on a volume of 10 attempts, which we love. And Reeves, unsurprisingly, leads the Lakers in catch and shoot 3-point attempts on the season. And that's on the season. If you look at recently, that number's gone up. And he gets a great matchup against the Grizzlies that allow a ton of catch and shoot opportunities, literally number 1 in the NBA in terms of catch and shoot 3-point attempts allowed. It's a very aggressive style of defense. That's how they play. So like LeBron assists is a good look as well. But the last time these 2 teams played, Austin Reeves put up 9 3-pointers. He only made 2, but if you're telling me he's going to shoot 9, I'll gladly back him to make at least 3. So yeah, that's where I went.
All right, let's talk some college football. Wait, clear the name. So these guys can both be found on Twitter. That's their Twitter handles right below their face. Modai has a YouTube channel, and so does Ronald. He's starting it up. He said, what, next month, right, Ronald?
Hopefully, yeah. I was trying to do it this month, but just a lot of scheduling stuff. So
yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
So make sure you give these guys a follow on Twitter or X. Appreciate you guys taking the time to be on. Let's talk some college football, some action.
Cool. There we go. That's what I like to hear. A fellow dick rider. All right, see you guys.
No one could even hear Scoop, so no one even knew who Modai was talking about.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they couldn't even hear Scoop. So they just heard your response to it.
That's fine. That's probably better anyways. All right, anyway, see you guys.
Two clowns and a clown pod soup.
All right. So, Kent State money line. Hear me out. No, just kidding. I don't even have a single thing to say about this game. The line is 30.5, 31. I'm even seeing 31s. So you better hurry up, get those 30.5s. They're getting bought up. Nah, in all seriousness, the line is 30 plus for a reason. This Kent State team is, it's pretty terrible across the board. They're down to their 3rd quarterback, I believe, Ulatowski. And although he actually has had a couple decent games in there on the road against the best defense in the conference, I can't imagine Ulatowski is able to consistently move the chains in this game. Whether or not you trust Miami of Ohio to score enough to cover this margin, I think is a question. So it would probably be Kent State or pass at this number, but there's no way. Because I don't think Miami of Ohio's offense is all that flawless. It's obviously significantly better. Plenty good enough to score points on Kent State's defense. Let's not get crazy. But I don't know if I have Miami of Ohio's offense held to the regard to cover a 30-plus point line. So Kent State plus the points or pass, not betting it.
So wouldn't that be an under?
I guess. Dude, I don't know. Yeah, give me.
I'm translating what you said.
The last time you said Kent State or anything, they lost 45-0. So
it's true. Yeah, switch me to an under.
No, yeah, 30 points is wild. Kent State's due though, right? They're gonna win this game straight out. Miami, Ohio wasn't even that good this year. It just shows how bad.
No, they hold on. I thought that also
above average.
They also Miami, Ohio schedules some ballsy early off non-conference games, which sometimes make them look like they're not great. And now that they get into conference play, it's like, oh, okay, they're still the best team in the MAC. That's how I feel.
Yeah, this also just shows how bad Kent State is in general, 30.5. I think this might be the worst team in college football. I think they're worse than Kennesaw State, right?
I don't know. What would the line be? Kent State versus Kennesaw State?
Yeah.
Neutral site. Neutral site.
What, Kennesaw State versus Kent State?
A full 3? I would take the points.
Who's getting 3?
He said Kennesaw State would be getting 3 on a neutral field.
Yeah, I guess
I would say Kent State -1. Kent State -1.
With this spread, Kent State has lost by more than 35 times this season. With all the stats, this is a complete mismatch. Kent State is a dumpster fire. Their turnover margin favors Miami by like 20. They're like 19% in third down completion. Miami, Ohio is already a top 25 defense, facing one of the worst offenses in the nation. They've been shut out 3 times this season, Kent State, which is impressive in college football. Shutouts plus 450 if you want to go down that road. I wouldn't, but maybe consider an under 6.5 for Kent State. That's plus 144. The under 7.5 is minus 142. I think that's a little too juiced just for them to score over two possessions or them putting points on the board. I don't think that's what you want. So yeah, I would lean Miami, but I'm not putting money on this game.
Andy, before you go, Prop Beaver, can we get a poll? What would the line be? Neutral field, Kent State versus Kennesaw State. And the 3 options, Kent State favored, Pick'em, Kennesaw State. So I really want to know what people think. What would the line be? So type that in for the question. What would the line be? And then we say
I think Kennesaw would be favored.
No. Kennesaw, no.
Because they would no.
Yeah, they have a win.
Yeah,
no,
but
I'd
no,
say Kent State short favorites.
Kennesaw beat Liberty. You think they're
on.
not going to be favored over Kent State?
The 3 options: Kennesaw favored, Kent favored. You don't have to put the word state, or Pick'em. I think Kent State's laying a 1.5.
I would say a full 3, but yeah, I definitely think they'd be favored. Kennesaw State's god awful. They caught Liberty at the right time.
You got to keep in mind the MAC is a lot stronger than Conference USA. Scoop.
They're playing much. Kent State also, they're non-conference. They played Penn State and Tennessee. I think they've been playing really good
Kent
teams.
State might be able to win a couple games if they play Middle Tennessee every year, and Conference USA is not as strong as the MAC.
Yeah. In this game, I'm on Kent State. The weather in this game's really crappy, so that's negative for Miami of Ohio. They want to throw the ball. I know stylistically that doesn't help them, right? That the weather being that bad means they're not going to be able to throw the ball as well. They should, on paper, score 40 in this game and give up nothing, but the weather will play an impact. I think I don't know that it'll benefit Kent State's offense and help them score, but I know that it'll hurt Miami of Ohio. So my guess for this game would be my bet for this game would be an under, and it would be Kent State, because I just don't think you can cover 31 points when you're dealing with weather and you want to throw the ball. So I'm going to be on the under. And
maybe a shutout might be good for the bet, actually, plus 450.
Yeah. So Kennesaw State won the poll. It's because they beat Liberty. Yeah. You got to keep in mind, okay, yes, they beat Liberty. They pulled an upset off. If Kent State was looking at a schedule where they played, Middle Tennessee, they played UT. Actually, Kent State hasn't even played the easiest of schedules. They played UTEP. Kent State doesn't get to play these easy Conference USA. They're playing the MAC, which is a much stronger. Yeah. Oh, well, maybe not much stronger. It is a stronger conference. They
both lost to FCS schools. So, I mean, that's part of it. One lost to UT Martin, one lost to St. Francis, PA.
All right, how about we move on to the next
one? Well, St. Francis, PA is way better than UT Martin.
Next up is Eastern Michigan, Ohio. Look, I know Eastern Michigan's been covering the number a lot in what the hell's the quarterback's name? Cole. What's his name?
Snyder?
Cole Snyder. Cole Snyder can make some plays. It's not a bad passing attack. They also play super fast. They get into these shootouts. So you see a big number like 11, and you think, the Eastern Michigan, they always go back and forth. I get how you would lean that way, but Ohio is going to hand the ball off 40-plus times, and Eastern Michigan's defense is not going to be able to get off the field. There's going to be stretches where this Eastern Michigan offense with Cole Snyder, they're going to be stuck on the sideline when they want to go out there and turn the game into a shootout. And they're not going to be able to, because Ohio's going to be on the field for 6-7 minutes at a time. And that just kills the vibe for a team like Eastern Michigan that runs these super fast-paced, pass-heavy offenses. So I don't like the matchup at all for Eastern Michigan. I think the Ohio's going to be able to slowly grind away and move the chains easily. Not to mention, and I'm not sure how much I even read into this, but with the quarterback position in football especially, this applies to a lot of sports, but the quarterback position in football is unique in a sense where you can make a change and the whole vibe of your team changes. And the reason I'm bringing that up is Parker Navarro started the year as the quarterback of Ohio. Was really struggling. About, I think, 6 games in, he got benched in a game because he was, like I said, really struggling. They put in the backup whose name escapes me. Parker Navarro had got his job back 2 games ago. Since Parker Navarro got his job back, they've played 2 games. Ohio is averaging 44 points per game. Yards per play is up. Efficiency's up. Success rate is up. So I'm not. I don't know how much I read into it, but since Parker Navarro got his starting job back, this Ohio offense seems to be playing with a new energy. Eastern Michigan's defense isn't very good. I think Ohio should be able to get down the field and score whenever they have the ball. Eastern Michigan on the road in Ohio, this defense is tough. Sure, Cole Snyder will be able to make some plays because they are a capable offense. I also think we could see a pick or two from Cole Snyder. Ohio should dominate this game. I would go. We missed the number. There was 9.5 a couple days ago. I didn't get it. So now once it crossed over 10, I was like, it's probably too late. I would still lean Ohio. Maybe Ohio team total over. My math is correct. You could probably get it around 29 or something. 20, 30. No. Yeah, probably about 30.5 if my math is correct. Ohio minus the points. Ohio team total over. That's how I see this game going.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ohio's still good after work left. They really surprised. Not only good, they're probably one of the top 3 still.
Well, they just transitioned to like a rushing offense.
I know. Yeah, the offense hasn't really skipped a beat, except the Miami, Ohio, actually, where we just talked about, where it was that 30-20 game. I think it was 30-20. I really do like this Ohio team. They're dominant on the ground, like you said. Tyus, Ricky Hunt, I think they're going to combine for over 200 yards rushing here. It's hard for me to take an Eastern Michigan team as good as their offense has been. Ohio's just clicking on both sides of the ball right now. Eastern Michigan, I think, is mostly just doing it offensively. The one thing Eastern Michigan has over Ohio is the turnover differential. Ohio's -8, Eastern Michigan's +7. But still, Ohio still should get the Cole Snyder a lot here. Eastern Michigan gives up 25 sacks this year, and Ohio's defensive line pressures the quarterback a lot coming off the edge. They're one of the best in the MAC, pressuring the quarterback. I just don't really trust Eastern Michigan's defense. Like Kyle said, they're bottom 25 in EPA per play. So Ohio should be able to put up a bunch of points here like it did the last 2 games. I know 41 to a terrible Kent State team and 47 against Buffalo. But Eastern Michigan has a similar defense to both of them, maybe slightly better, but not drastically. So I think Ohio covers here. I like their team a lot better, and I like them on both sides of the ball.
Andy?
I'm going to be on Ohio here. Eastern Michigan, kind of similar to last year. I think we said this when we were doing the season previews. The teams that they have beaten so far this year have a combined 10 FBS wins. 6 of those are Jacksonville State's wins. They have not beaten anybody on the schedule. That win over Jacksonville State was fraudulent too, because Jacksonville State fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line with on 1st and goal in overtime to win the game. So in reality, they've beaten St. Francis, PA, Kent State, Central Michigan, UMass, and Jacksonville State. And the Jacksonville State one was BS. This team's schedule is light, and that's why I can't really take their stats to anything, because in their last 4 games, when the schedule got to MAC play and it got tougher, they've given up 6.5 yards per carry. And they're facing a team who in their last 4 games has 6 yards per carry. So it's just a complete mismatch. Eastern Michigan gets all this love. If they win this game, they're going to a bowl, which is ridiculous. Yeah, they just always do this with their scheduling, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't stop them from scheduling cupcakes. And also they got lucky. They got to play Kent State this year. You can't do anything about it, but that's just the way that Eastern Michigan is. So I don't take their numbers into play until I just isolate it to MAC play, and very clearly this is not a good football team. So I'm going to be all over Ohio here. Maybe Eastern Michigan will prove me wrong, but the numbers say they're going to get ran all over today. So Eastern Michigan.
Next game.
Ohio, my bad.
So apparently I didn't even know this yesterday when I was recording the video. So it looks like there is going to be shitty weather in this game, but I was looking at this early in the week. I looked on Monday to see if any of the midweek games had weather issues, and it was all clear. So I don't know if the website I use just
Andy's the meteorologist. He should have.
Yeah, this one's going to be bad weather.
Here, meteorologist.
This is going to be terrible weather. 97% of the area filled with rain the whole game. It's not going to be good.
97%. You said
97%.
The area.
So 97% of the area.
Could be 3%. Yep. Not raining.
That 3% could be the stadium, though.
Right.
So think about that.
So I mean,
listen, I have a bet. I bet Akron here. So,
but the bad weather hurts Akron, bro.
I know. I'll still take the Zips. The MAC's kind of weird this year. I mean, there's no dominant team really. I think this line's too big. Akron isn't a terrible MAC team. They're not Kent State, which we just talked about. I actually think they're better than Central Michigan and possibly Eastern Michigan. They did beat them already. So I know they're having a terrible year, but this team can score some points. Northern Illinois had their flash in the pan offense last week against Western Michigan. I don't see them all of a sudden finding an offensive groove for one game. In conference, Akron only lost to the spread once in MAC play to Ohio more than a month ago. Everything else was 11 or less. The team's better than Northern Illinois, like Bowling Green, Buffalo in terms of offense anyway. No one's blowing out Akron. I know Northern Illinois has a solid defense. I'm a little concerned over Akron's offensive line. Ben Finley's been sacked 18 times, but I think the numbers are a bit skewed from Akron's red zone offense. They have one of the worst red zone offenses in the entire country. They have a ton of yards. They're actually an above average offense compared to the rest of the nation, but they just can't put them in the end zone. I think that, I think they're due for some positive regression here. They're going to get in the end zone. Northern Illinois has a good defense, but 3 of the last 5, they've given up 20 points or plus. The Zips has an extra 4 days of rest to prepare. I still don't like Ethan Hampton for Northern Illinois as a quarterback, so I do like Akron to cover this spread. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think.
Well, that's what I said on YouTube last night was I liked Akron and I liked the under. I didn't realize we were looking at terrible weather. That makes it really tough. So, I mean, you could put Akron up for me. I'm not going to back off of what I said last night. I didn't bet the game. In fact, I don't have a single college football bet down tonight. These are some shitty ones.
Now it just says cloudy. So.
No, it doesn't. It says 97% rain the whole game. 10 mile per hour winds.
Well, wait a second. What website are you looking on?
If you go
where
on
do you get your
different
weather, bro? Oh, now I gotta look.
Oh my goodness! I use iShader, but I also go on the weather.
Andy's the weather guy. Just listen to him. He's right.
So this is in DeKalb?
DeKalb.
DeKalb?
Yeah.
DeKalb?
DeKalb, Illinois.
All right. Hourly weather in DeKalb.
Yeah, it says a lot of rain, so I was looking at
what are
something
you talking about, Scoop?
Bro, I don't know. Just leave me alone.
And windy. All right,
Guy doesn't know weather.
This is important is Akron recently has discovered an offense. They've been scoring some points in the first handful of games this season. They look terrible, but the last few games, they've been throwing the ball. This team has a somewhat capable passing attack, and on the road at Northern Illinois is crazy, though. That defense is so good. But not only on the road at Northern Illinois against what might be the best defense in the conference, either them or Miami of Ohio, but now you throw in some bad weather. How the hell is Akron going to move the ball in this game? It sucks because I would love to take this big number as a buy low spot on Akron, like buy low on this offense before everyone figures out that they're actually kind of good. But in the bad weather on the road against this defense is crazy. But on the other side, the reason, I don't know if you guys watched what I posted last night, Akron's been playing solid defense against the run for most of this year. In the last 4 games, I think they're allowing like 4.15 yards per carry. So teams aren't running the ball on Akron. They're actually doing a solid job in the defensive front. And Northern Illinois, offensively, has had all kinds of problems this year. Ethan Hampton even got benched at one point this season, or he got hurt. I think he got benched, but he was not playing well. He did have a decent game at against Western Michigan, but he only dropped back to pass 16 times, so it wasn't a lot of volume. But as a whole, Northern Illinois has not had a passing attack. Even the run game's been sputtering a little bit. So against an Akron defense that's undervalued in terms of defending the run, could you put under up for me too? Yeah, perfect. You already had it typed in. So Akron and under. This is what I said last night. I stick to that. Bad weather the bad weather probably points me more towards the under.
Same with me. The weather would draw me to an under. I'd be on Northern Illinois though. I know that it's tough when it's a low-scoring game to cover 2 touchdowns. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's going to be really hard for Akron to score at all here. This Northern Illinois defense, it's really good. They don't get the credit they deserve because they've had some tough losses this year. But some of those losses have aged somewhat well, like Buffalo. But they have a really good pass rush, so they're going to be all over the quarterback today. So I think that's a disaster for Akron. I know Akron has had a little bit more success on offense lately, but I mean, the one game was against Eastern Michigan. One of them was against Western Michigan and then Buffalo. We know that those are really bad defenses, so not exactly to the level that Northern Illinois is. So I would be on Northern Illinois just probably by 17 to 20. I really think this is low scoring. I think Akron finishes with single digits here. The weather really really screws them because they want to throw the ball. They're, like you said, 16th in pass frequency. In bad weather, that shoots your game plan in half, and I don't really know what they're going to be able to do.
Here's my plan. So Akron has this game, a bad weather game on the road at Northern Illinois. If Northern Illinois' defense just blankets them and they look terrible, right? And this is an ugly 27-3 win or whatever the fuck. So if that happens, where Akron's offense looks ugly here in the bad weather, next week they play Kent State on the road. They'll probably be laying, 7.5 to Kent State?
Yeah.
I will lay it, and I'll make it a strong bet on the road at Kent State. I'll lay the 7, and because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'll take the 7. 7 points. Akron sucks," and that we'll see the Akron offense that we've seen the last few weeks bounce back. Hopefully, there's good weather in that one. So that's my plan. I'll play Akron strong next week. I'll lay the full 7 on the road or whatever it's going to be against Kent State. Zips up, but I'm not betting this one. Community parlay, hit the song.
Community parlay, the parlay we bet, yeah. Community parlay.
Someone just asked for Scoop's YouTube channel.
Making a parlay. Yeah.
Scoop doesn't even know how to use a laptop.
Somebody said you should make my name Al Roker.
I work for Kyle.
Oh, the weather. Oh my God, that clicked quickly.
I work for Kyle. He can't. He wouldn't let me. I can't sublet myself out.
All right, let's get the poll going. First leg, Magic money line, Cavs money line, Thunder money line. Leave Thunder out. They're 15-point favorites. Fuck that. Celtics money line, Bulls money line. They like the Bulls in that one.
Thunder money line.
My last college bets are 7-0 football, so that means I'm
You
due
hit
for
7 in a row.
Yeah, that's because I wasn't on the show last week.
Oh, so when no one's watching,
Yeah. Hey, I post them on the site.
I know. So people on the website can see.
Also, I have Dartmouth right now, if anyone wants to know. Like, they're literally playing. Ivy League,
Oh, that's
best
right.
league,
I forgot about that.
Football or basketball?
basketball.
Basketball.
I
I
do
forgot
not
there was a
know
game
what
starting at 5.
Dartmouth football.
Yeah, I mean, some people like those FCS football. The guy in the Discord, Rock Rowlett or whatever, Rock Rowlett, or I don't know how to say his name, but he's always betting on FCS.
Ivy League football is actually really fun to
Yeah,
watch. Yeah.
people like it. All right, so Spurs money line.
I don't
Rockets
think
money line. They like the Pistons in that one. Pistons money line, and Timberwolves money line.
TWD, I know how to use a laptop. He's being mean.
I don't think that the Ivy League's allowed to play in the FCS playoffs though. I think
They're
that's
not
a
allowed
rule.
to?
Yeah, I don't think they're allowed to.
Why?
I don't remember why, but I know for a fact that they're usually left out by a rule because they usually have like some really good teams.
Someone Google that.
I usually don't pay attention to the FCS until the championship game.
I don't even.
Which
look
was
at the
sick
games.
last year.
Like when I'm handicapping a game, if one of the games on the thing is an FCS game, I don't even look at what happened.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow. Mercer's pulling the upset this week against Alabama.
Mercer money line.
Yep, just watch.
We got the second leg, which is T-Wolves money line. So now we got Lakers money line, Kings money line, and the 2 second place finishers were Celtics and Spurs.
Toast just bet Richmond. He's a hater.
Go ahead, cast your votes. See, first and second place of this poll will be the community parlay for the day.
He goes, Dartmouth already shitting the bed. 9-4.
9-4. Calm down.
Wow, everyone's voting the Lakers. That's crazy. Looks like it's going to be Lakers and Celtics, right? Yeah, it's like a blowout, Lakers and Celtics. Yeah, no one else is even close. Lakers and Celtics are the community parlay. Let's get the odds, and then let's get the hell out of here.
You guys chose an absolute heater today.
So we got Celtics, we got Cavs, we got...
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. This is going to be like minus 110.
It's plus 136.
Plus 138.
We got over the plus. So we got over the threshold.
So the community parlay is Cavs money line, Lakers money line, Celtics money line, T-Wolves money line at plus 138. Wow, community. I expected better out of you. But you know what? This isn't the Kyle parlay. It's the community parlay, and that's what the community voted for.
Can I get a lay it plus 130, 136 shirt?
Lay it plus 138. All right. Everyone, have a great night. Thanks for watching. We'll be back at midnight. Scoop, you coming to the midnight stream?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Why did he say? Why
I don't know why
he
he
so
said
pissed
it like
off?
that.
I asked.
No.
No,
I can't.
As if I said something insulting. All right, so me, Andy, and Toast will be back for the midnight stream. Even though there's only 2 games, it's the Grand Canyon
That's not a
game
great one. And Kansas State,
and the
LSU.
Kansas State. So we'll be back at midnight to do a couple college basketball games for those of you that'll be around. We'll see you at midnight, same time tomorrow.